on, guys? Welcome back to the Good Success Podcast. I am your host, Josh Culler, and today we got a great episode for you. We have Sean Tagge with Memphis Investment Properties on the line today. Sean, what is going on? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing great, Josh. Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk with you guys, and hope we can all learn something.
Awesome.
What's up, Sean? So you guys are in Memphis, right?
That's right, Memphis, Tennessee.
Cool.
Man, same time zone. I think we established
Yes,
that
we're
before
good.
we started this.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah, we're on the same time zone over here.
Right here in the middle of the country.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
All Midwest, right here.
The Midwest.
I like talking to Midwestern boys. You know, sometimes you get the people out west and out east, and they just don't understand like what real life is in the Midwest.
He's a Southern too. So
Yeah, mid south is where I'm at. But I mean, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to come back around to Sean. We actually met him through the Think Realty Leadership Circle. At least that's where I met him. I'm not sure if that's where you met him as well, but
Yes.
He's a part of the Think Realty Leadership Circle, the whole Think Realty Expo as well. So we get to see him every time we go to Think Realty, which is a lot of fun. Him and James O'Cobb, fantastic people. So we're going to come back around. These guys are turnkey providers in Memphis, which is a super hot market, as most of you guys know. So we got some really good questions for him about that. But before we get into it, if you guys have not already, make sure you have subscribed to the Good Success Podcast. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. We do go Facebook Live every Friday, except for on Fridays that we are having an event or whatever. So a few weeks ago, we had our Community Go-Giver event, which is a complete success. It was absolutely amazing. And then 2 weeks ago, we had our Good Success Mastermind for the third quarter, which went fantastic as well. We had it at Innsbrook Country Club over in Maryville, Indiana here, right in our backyard. And then the fourth quarter mastermind is going to be in Miami because nobody wants to be in Chicago in November. So November 8, 9, and 10 is the dates for that. If you guys are interested, go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind. You can find out more about that there. We do have you fill out an application because we don't just accept anybody that applies. I mean, we also vet, yes, the volume of deals that you're doing, the scalability of your business, but also the type of person you are. We do have our core values set for our actual mastermind, and we do vet you by those core values as well. So, Tom, do you want to talk anything about the mastermind?
Yeah, we're only looking for people that are looking to not only grow their business, because I think that's really important, but also people that want to grow it the right way and do the right thing by people. I'm not looking for people that just want to have all this money and all this gold and have like these fancy cars. I'm looking for people that really want to be a conduit and want to be able to take what they've been given and be able to help their communities and be able to help missions or be able to help other types of endeavors. So that's the type of people we're looking for, people that are willing to be there on time and be a part of the community and push the community, be a good steward and double what they've been given as far as time, talents, and treasure, but also be willing to grow and be humble enough to say, I don't know it all. So that's the type of people that we're looking for. That's the type of people we always have on our podcast. So, I mean, I got to connect with Sean a couple different times, and every time I've met him, he's always been the type of guy that is looking to learn, trying to get better, but also takes his roles and responsibilities very seriously and wants to make sure that he's providing a great service for his people.
Absolutely. So then if you guys do ever go to Think Realty, make sure you stop by their booth because I think they go to every single, I've seen you guys at pretty much all the most recent ones at least. So make sure you guys stop at their booth. They are actually in the leadership circle as well. But yeah, absolutely. So Good Success Mastermind, go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind to find out more about that, see the dates all there, and then also to apply. And you will talk to Jared Stoutmeister, who's our salesman. He's our gatekeeper.
And we do have the dates already for next Community Go-Giver event, which is pretty cool.
We do.
So,
and we have pre-sale tickets, if I'm not mistaken,
yes,
right?
we're already ready to go online. So communitygogiver.com for that June 27, 28, 29 of 2019. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. And just like this year.
Yeah, so you guys can go to communitygogiver.com. Kevin's going to be on the links below, so goodsuccess.com/mastermind will be linked below. And then also communitygogiver.com is going to be linked below. Pre-sale tickets. It was an awesome event. Do you want to talk about like the wrap-up of it? I mean, I didn't get to have you on Brandon Richards' podcast last week, and so we didn't get to talk about it much, but how do you think it went?
I thought it was awesome. I really it's one of those things that God has to kind of put you through to actually know what it's going to be like. And to have the people that were there to be a part of the original inaugural Community Go-Giver event, because I think this is going to be huge. This is something I really want to cast across the whole country of how to be a good community go giver in your community, and what you can do to help us in the city of Gary, Indiana, but also what you can do to be able to help your community, I think is a focus that we've kind of lost over the last couple decades. You used to see this pop up all over the place, and now kind of like we're on our phones all the time, and we forget that there's people around us that we need to focus on and try to help. And I thought it went amazing. People loved it. And really, I think everybody that was here is already promising to come back next year. Yeah. So I think that's a pretty good thing too.
And we almost sold out of all of our shirts.
Yes,
we only have like 3 left.
We have 3 t-shirts left, so we have to get more, Josh.
We got to order more.
And I did have one complaint, Josh. There was no women's t-shirts, so we will have women's t-shirts next time. Well. I don't think Sean wants one of those, but his wife might want.
Get some for my wife. Yeah, that's right.
There it is. Yeah, so you guys could go check it out again, communitygogiver.com. Sign up pre-sale. I know it's a year away, but it is totally worth it. You guys ask anybody that went to the actual event, and we had some fantastic speakers. Well, we're excited to get the lineup put together pretty soon for next year. So you guys be on the lookout for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this interview. Sean, do us a huge favor for the people that don't know who you are, that are listening to our podcast. If you guys, by the way, don't know who we are, you're coming by way of knowing Sean because he shared this or whatever. We appreciate you guys jumping on Good Success Podcast. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud, so make sure you check all those out. So Sean, do us a brief introduction about who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it, and all the other stuff about yourself.
Sure thing. So really originally my background's in engineering. I was a biomedical engineer, graduated in that. I thought, I'm just going to go do that my whole life and do research on medical devices. But, quickly just found out I enjoyed doing it, but I just found out it wasn't the best way for me to achieve financial success, and also put me to my highest and best use of being able to help others, right? And creating that free time for myself to go out and be with my family and help others. So quickly, I learned that real estate investing is the #1 asset class in the whole entire world, in the existence. And so I kind of just got started owning a duplex, living in one unit, renting out the back, and then started doing some flips and some buy and holds. And then basically just started networking, meeting other investors, learning from people. And that's where I met my partner, James Walkup. James is partnered up with the Reedies, Reading Company. That's our property management side. And they basically brought me on because we had our strengths and weaknesses. They were very good at going out, getting deals, getting them rehabbed and all of that, but they lacked the organization, the systems, the processes, the numbers, statistics and all that, which basically was all I was doing, right? In medical device research, it's all you do. And so we kind of joined forces in our synergies, different energies and strengths have been a great team and have helped us really grow over the past 2017. We did 235 turnkey flips. Awesome. So we're a turnkey provider. In 2016, we did like 130. So we've grown quite a bit. And with that comes, you need a lot of systems. You need scalability. You need training manuals. You need all that stuff that they didn't really have the time or really the expertise to handle. So that's kind of where I came on board as I'm the vice president of operations. So that's my side of what I handle in the business. And so they can go and focus on finding more deals and bigger and better things.
Understood. Well, that's awesome.
You guys did 230 deals last year?
Yeah, in 2017. And this year we're on track. I mean, it's hard to say. We're probably projecting around 250 to 280.
And how do you do that many rehabs?
Well, with that many rehabs, you need a big team behind you. So
that's a really good question. Yeah.
It's not one of our questions, but I'm like,
that's
I
a really good
need to
question,
ask it. Seriously.
Yeah. You need a huge team behind you and years of experience. So really it started with the Reedies. They partnered up with a hedge fund in 2012 and learned a lot from them. With this hedge fund, they bought over 1,000 properties in 18 months. So they had to renovate 1,000 properties, at least get them rent ready. So they learned a lot from that. And then they've used those basically same systems that they've learned from the hedge funds to now help individual investors. Instead of working with one client, we now work with hundreds of clients to help them renovate their properties and give them the same renovation and property management as we would with a large hedge fund. But yeah, it's really just big teams. So we got probably 3 rehab managers, and all of them have sub crews who manage little mini crews below them. But I mean, just a lot of good tracking and meeting up, and I guess years of experience.
Yeah, so I mean, we're doing like around between 100 and 120. So we do turnkey rental properties as well, and not as many as you are. And we're kind of focusing split on the turnkey and the fix and flip right now, because the fix and flip market is just kind of almost too hot. Sometimes it's hard to sell a house for 120 that rents for $13.95 when you can sell the same house for like 150.
Right.
So that's kind of where our markets is just a hair different than your market is. But we're very similar. But I mean, it to me, like, sometimes that's one of the biggest struggles is getting all the rehabs done in a timely manner, so they're not stretching out for months and months, and just trying to keep that speed and quality all going at the same time. I can definitely tip my hat to you guys to be able to do that many rehabs and be able to keep that focus on making that thing happen. So that's awesome.
Yeah, let's park on that for a second, because one of the biggest things in our mastermind for fix and flippers is the quality control of their rehabs, and they're finding good contractors, finding good GCs and all that stuff, and actually managing them. They've had GCs walk off the jobs and stuff like that. What is something that you've implemented that you've been able to keep your contractors around and manage the flips a little bit better, a little more smoothly?
Yeah, we have very loyal contractors, and actually a lot of our employees are loyal. So that number one helps out a lot. And yeah, so I do agree it is hard, especially on the sub side, to keep finding those great people. What we do is, definitely we compensate them for what they've been doing and the value they've been adding to us. And then to keep them on track, we meet up every week, and then, of course, other times during the week during more important matters. And basically what we have is they give us a scope of work before we go buy a property. They're like, hey, here's what we're going to do to the property. Here's everything the roof, the mechanicals, anything that's needed. And we'll make sure they check that off when they're finished with the property. And of course, the home inspection is also a good telltale sign of how well they're doing. And that helps them give them feedback for later on, what the home inspectors are usually looking for. And then, we really just the main tracking. We have, a spreadsheet, a database dashboard that tracks everything on the rehab side. And that's how we know where they're at, what their projected end date and everything like that is. And then really tracking the numbers to help them get better. Right now, our average time from purchase to close is right around 18 days. So, we've gotten better. That started at, 150 or so, 180 sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so we're bringing that down, because the more you can turn your properties, the quicker, the better, but also maintaining quality. So there's a fine balance with everything.
Gotcha. So backtracking just a little bit then, how do you find your contractors? If they're loyal to you, how are you able to find those and sniff out the good ones and bring them on board with you?
Well, also maybe just talk about, like, I think when I heard you before, you have like 68 in-house employees as well,
right,
on the construction team or something like that. It was some crazy number.
Yeah, property management side has 30, and then the rehab has like 38. Yeah, so these guys, we keep them loyal by paying them every Friday. I mean, they get a check every Friday. So some of these rehabber guys have been with us for years because they have a steady income, and they don't. And also we buy the materials. We have a warehouse here, so we buy all of our materials in bulk. And then that helps them. They don't have to go to Home Depot every day and use it on their credit card to pay for the materials and float that expense. We're covering that expense on most of the materials that they can get. So that helps them and also saves them time. Instead of going to Home Depot 3 times, a week and slacking off, they're just here at the beginning of the day at 6:30 a.m. We're very crowded, and they all have their jobs assigned on little papers. Here's what you're doing today, these 2 or 3 properties, and what you need to do. So that's another thing, is sending out those work orders every day and just having them ready. So we have 3 in-house maintenance people that handle the phone calls for the tenants, and they're over there helping schedule those out. So same thing with the rehab. Our contractors just schedule out and keep our subs very organized in the way they're supposed to go.
Gotcha.
So I think we lost you there just for a second. So what percentage of your rehabs do you do in-house versus like subbing all out or general contracting out?
90% of every house we're doing all in-house.
Okay.
Really the roofers and some of the electrical and plumbing is what we sub out. just on the major side, but everything else is 80%, 90% of the rehab's just done with our in-house workers.
So most of it's done in-house, and you have 3 main managers over all of that, and then you house all of your own materials. I mean, kind of high level, that's kind of what's helped you get to where you're at.
That the scalability of buying in bulk, keeping it in-house, getting those great discounts, and then also keeping the workers efficient as well, not having to go to Home Depot and find it.
Perfect.
Interesting.
Yeah, thanks for getting into that. I appreciate that. And I think that'll help some of our listeners too, because I think right now, in the market that we're in right now, you can't just go out and hire general contractors for everything and expect the same type of product that you can do internally every single time if you have the right team.
Right.
Absolutely. So Sean, talk about the Memphis market just a little bit. I know that Tom alluded to the Memphis market being very similar to what we're at. So we're in Northwest Indiana, right outside Chicago, right in line with you guys, Central Standard Time. Awesome.
Yeah.
So talk about the Memphis market, why it's so hot right now, and why you guys are even doing deals. I know that in the leadership circle, actually, last time when I saw you, someone had even mentioned to you guys going out into another territory because acquisition might be starting to get tough for you guys. But why stay in the Memphis market? Why are you guys so in love with that?
Yeah, Memphis has been really the hometown of my partner, James and Jim, their whole lives. So we know it like the back of our hand. We know every street. We've probably rehabbed a house on every street in town. The reason why it's so hot, I mean, just like anywhere in the country, everywhere's heating up, right? So in the homeowner areas of town, houses are getting under contract in a week or less. Wow. And so that's causing a real big squeeze, especially at the starter level homes. There aren't any new homes being built at the entry, 3-bed, just a 1,200 square foot home. They're all 4 beds, 300,000 plus. So in that 150 to 250 range, none of those houses are being built. So it's just causing a squeeze in inventory. So we're getting outbid by homeowners every day. And then also more and more competition. There's more out-of-state investors coming in because their markets are, way more appreciated, on the East and West Coast. So it's like we're getting like a double squeeze, less inventory for the new homes. So then homeowners are wanting properties, then also investors from out of the country and also locally. It's just really, really heating up. And then also we're getting a lot of new development. The downtown metro area of Memphis is really rejuvenating and coming alive. There's $9 billion of investments and real estate being renovated over there. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is growing. FedEx, so we have lots of major employers like FedEx. They're doing a $1 billion expansion. And also, other companies like that need to ship their products. So, with the Amazon craze going around, there's a lot of more shipping going around.
Mm-hmm. So why Memphis?
So Memphis has been a perennial market for cash flow. Still, yet I'm mentioning this hotness of the market, our houses are very affordable. Average home price is $150,000. And so, the average rent is right around $1,200. So it still is pretty close to the 1% rule, just a natural home on, anything on the listing. So we're able to find houses that can really cash flow very well. So that's why a lot of investors are still wanting to come here, because they still see that, hey, houses are at 150 where, the whole country can be at 250. There's still room to grow in equity gain. So that's really why Memphis has been a hot market, is that there's still room to grow.
So why is Memphis that way though? So what are the main, so you talked about FedEx, you talked about some things like that. What other key contributors make Memphis like such a desirable place to be able to do what you guys do?
Yeah, it's those steady jobs, those jobs from St. Jude, which, that brings in a lot of physicians and researchers, but then also there's their support staff, the janitors, the assistants. So lots of people like that in that medical district downtown. Then also, FedEx, and then lots of logistics and shipping companies. We have 5 to 7 major railroads go through Memphis. I mean, Memphis is right in the middle of the country in terms of the population. You can basically ship anything out of here or from flights. So, and then also we're right on the Mississippi River. So we also have, barges in a free trade zone. So we can ship things out of here as well. So it's just kind of really a logistics town. That creates a lot of jobs where people, just are making 30, 40 grand a year that have that mindset of wanting to be a renter. So that's why it's created such a good rental opportunities, because most of those people don't realize they could buy a house and pay less, but they'd rather just rent because they don't have the discipline maybe to save up or to, save up for a down payment or, build up their credit score. So for right now, that's what is creating an opportunity for great cash flow. in Memphis.
Yeah, so like you guys are right in the middle of the country. You've got major airports right there. You've got railroads that you said go right through. A lot of different highways go north and south, east and west. And then you guys are also on the Mississippi River. So you kind of have all four modes of transportation covered there. Very similar to our market. You know, we're right on Lake Michigan. So we have access to all the Great Lakes, plus obviously Mississippi River, north and south, I-65, east and west, 8094 go east and west through the whole country. And then Gary just opened up their new longest runway, which is longer than any runway at Midway Airport in Chicago. So we're already seeing this happen too in this area where, you know, shipping companies are coming in and trucking companies are coming in and building on the airport. And so I think you're right. The economy is changing. You know, we're going away from malls to like 50% of everything being ordered online. So I think it's really good to pay attention to that kind of stuff. And being in the middle of the country is a good strategic location to be able to have those jobs be not just like today, but like think 20, 30 years down the road. I think Memphis is going to be a really good place to buy and own long-term.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's really important when you're picking a market. I think that's really important to take all that into consideration. So absolutely. So we talk a lot about turnkey and active turnkey. So Tom actually has the term active turnkey trademarked. It's a little bit different form of turnkey, but for those of our listeners that may not know exactly what it is, maybe they just jump on the podcast, they just start listening to us or whatever. Can you kind of just like 1 to 2 minutes, just briefly skim over what the process is for turnkey for those who may not know exactly what it is?
Sure. Yeah, so turnkey, by definition, it means you just turn the key and the house is ready. You can just walk in and everything's ready.
That's so simple.
So that, you know, if you Google that, but really it's what we're doing is we're taking on the risk of the investing side. So we're going to go buy a house in a distressed condition, our company, and we have all the experience of renovating thousands of homes. So we know what to look for, and then we're going to renovate it completely. You know, we're going to take care of the roof if it needs work, if it needs to be fixed, and the mechanicals and the flooring and all the cosmetics, and then also start getting a renter lined up. So we're going to have a house that's just ready for a renter, ready for someone to just buy and start collecting their rent checks. So that's what we do. We help investors, typically someone that, you know, maybe it doesn't make sense where they live for cash flow, but they still want to invest in real estate. And maybe they don't have the time or expertise, or want to take on the risk to develop a team, hire 4 contractors, 3 of them don't work out. You know, we've been through that. And so, you know, we're helping them really mitigate their risk by taking it on ourselves, and then, but still sharing in, they get the long-term benefits of owning a rental property, and also we'll property manage it for them as well. So that's kind of what turnkey is and what we're doing. So we're helping investors all over the world just own great rental properties.
Perfect. And I think another great thing to talk about when you talk about Memphis or talk about where to buy turnkey rental properties, I'm not saying this is the only way to make money, but I like the boring market. So like really like Memphis is kind of a boring market. You're not going to see these huge swings of 300 grand down to 100 grand if we have some kind of recession. So there's like some built-in safety. Yeah, there's some kind of like built-in, you may not have this 200% appreciation, but you're going to have that steady cash flow. I know people in my market, for instance, who bought in 2006 and bought rentals in 2006, and like they cash flowed all the way through everything. Their house doesn't know that it goes down in value when it goes down in value, because the rents, at least in my market, went up during that period of time. Yep. I know different markets are a little bit different for that, but most markets stayed very steady with their rents. And what happened is more demand came into the rental market. So, you know, you didn't really have to worry about it. It's one of those things where, you know, if you're buying a house that went from $300,000 to $600,000, like that's where you're going to have the biggest risk when you're buying. And I think it really takes out some of the risk by buying in these types of cash flow neighborhoods, cash flow areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So on that same track, what is one of the biggest pitfalls that you see with, whether it's in your actual business or any other turnkey businesses? One of the biggest pitfalls, one of the biggest gaps that you can see in the turnkey market right now?
Yeah, so one of the biggest gaps is the property management. So on the back end, it's managing those properties, because, you know, we're taking care of people's and their money they've been saving up, their life savings. They're putting a fraction or sometimes a large portion of that into real estate because they're trusting our company. And yeah, it's easy to go and, it's not simply easy, but it's easy to go and renovate a house and just sell it to them and forget about them. But what our company has done, we've aligned our interests and have our own property management company. So if we do renovate something and we don't renovate it correctly, we're still going to hear about it because we're managing it on the back end. Where I've seen, a lot of other so-called turnkey providers who just do a rehab, a lipstick rehab, and kind of just leave it for the other property management company. Just have another one, so they don't have to hear of those problems as much, and they kind of leave someone in the dust. So, and that's really been putting a bad name to some, really legitimate turnkey providers in the country. So we've really aligned our interests by continuing the property management with them because we want them to see success. And, we don't want to sell someone one house. We want to sell them 10 or 20 and see them achieve their goal of financial independence. And the best way to do that is helping them throughout the whole process, including property management.
Yep.
No, and that's part of like what we set up here too. And I totally 100% agree with you. I tell people all the time, I would rather you not get a good deal on and I'd rather you get a good deal, but I'd rather you not get a good deal on a house for turnkey and have an awesome property manager than get this awesome, wonderful deal and not have good property management at the end. Because at the end, 5 years down the road, it doesn't even matter what you paid for the property because your tenant's paying down the mortgage anyways. Mm-hmm. It more matters like how well did that thing perform? How many vacancies did it have and how long did they stay vacant? I mean, our average days on market right now is less than 7 days from time we start marketing to the time a house gets filled. And I see property managers sometimes around the country where I'm hearing stories of 2, 3, 4 months of these houses going vacant. And I just shake my head because I say like, well, that's the most important piece of that whole thing is trying to make sure that they stay filled and keeping that going. So I 100% agree with you full-heartedly. And I think it's hard sometimes because there's a lot of people out there selling properties for other people and they're kind of just realtors. Yep. And in a way, like they're not really the back end. And so sometimes I recommend you always go out, visit the property managers before you buy, just so you got to get comfortable with the property manager. I tell you, vet the property manager before you even vet the salesperson. And totally, I 100% agree with that. That's. I'm glad that we're in same tune with that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and on the property management side, if there's one guy in the property management team or just 2 or 3, they don't have the time to really help the tenant and also remain in contact with the owners. So one of those things are going to drop. If someone's doing everything, going out and leasing a property, getting the tenant in there, answering the maintenance calls for the tenant, and then, oh, by the way, yeah, I need to go and get in contact with the owner and give them an update on their property. So that's why we've departmentalized our property management company to where we actually have 3 people dedicated to just keeping in contact with our owners, and really our motto over here is we're balancing the wishes of the tenants and also the owners. So it's really difficult, with any property management company, but that's what we try to strive to do is we want to keep the property maintained and up to date quickly and get to those tenant calls quickly because, yeah, that'll help the tenant, meaning they'll want to stay there longer. But then that also helps the owner because then the tenant's going to want to stay in there longer and they're going to have less vacancy. So we're trying to focus on both of those things, really balancing both of their wants.
Yeah, and I love property management. And it's one of those things where, like, the end of the day, the property management company doesn't make a ton of money, but it's actually worth a lot of money. It's kind of one of those, like, weird type of companies where, yes, the property management might make a little bit of money at the end of the year, but they could sell all those accounts and the company itself is worth a lot of money. Right. But also, like, what you are really is a steward. And that's one of our core values, is stewardship. And you are basically taking somebody else's investment and you are there to not only like make it perform and make it be exactly what it was when you were given it, you're supposed to be giving it back in better condition and in better, providing that income or providing whatever it is that the owner wants even better than it was when they give you. It should. So property managers that just drop the ball, they're like way over here. Property managers that just keep it kind of going the same way or as good as a would, are kind of like, in my opinion, the Bible calls them the lazy servant because they gave back the talent that's the same as what they were given. But the property managers you really want are people that are actually going to improve your outlook and improve your numbers and improve on what they've been given.
So here's a good question for both of you then. Sean, we'll start with you. Why is it so important to have a property management company in-house?
Like I mentioned, it really aligns our interests, right? So we can't just go and do an okay rehab and fluff it off to someone else and then let that property manager take care of it. That's really what we've done is, so we're going to hear about it. We're here and we have to answer to that because we are your property manager after. So it really aligns that interest. And yeah, I mean, that's really the main thing. That's why I like it in-house. And then also it helps us communicate. We'll hear, what maintenance or things happen. So then we can refocus on the renovation on the front end. Oh, we need to check this every time now because we're hearing that this maintenance thing happens and comes up. So it's really helping us also just improve on our renovations on the front end. And then it also helps our property management team know, hey, look, guys, we sold these properties to these people, telling them we're going to give them a good investment and manage their property. So it aligns the property management interest as well. So it really makes a symbiotic relationship there with the turnkey company and the management team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you don't get into like he said, she said type of arguments or type of like, so like the property manager at that point, if they're not the same company, is always going to point back and be like, it's their fault. And then the construction company's going to be like, well, they didn't manage the property right. Like you're never, ever, ever going to have this congruent type of work together type of an attitude.
No excuse. Yeah.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, I always think it's better. And there's some great people in our mastermind that manage their own properties. And I definitely think if you're going to be a buyer, you should be buying from people that are managing their own properties.
Yep. Absolutely. So just a couple quick questions for you that we're going to wrap this podcast up with. Sean, we appreciate you being on. It's been a fantastic interview that we've had here. A lot of great information, I think, that has been pulled from Sean's mind into the minds of you guys. So, in your business, in the growth of the business, so obviously you talked about the growth of your guys' business and how far it's come in just the past couple of years. What's one of the most important things that you've learned in maybe just the real estate market in general? And maybe it's not just the turnkey market, but in general real estate. Maybe it's something that you've implemented into your business, a process that you've changed, or staffing, or whatever it is. What is one of the biggest contributors to your guys' growth right now?
So my biggest advice for anyone and in general in any business is know your numbers. So knowing your numbers is the most important critical thing in your business. So what does that entail? That means knowing what your average renovation cost is and what your estimated renovation cost is versus the actual. The average time from purchase to close on a property. And then also in your marketing department, knowing how much you're spending on marketing and how much of return that's giving you, how many leads it's producing you, and how many appointments you go on, how many properties you get under contract, and how many deals you buy. Because knowing your numbers helps you know how to scale. From the marketing side, if you know you have to spend $1,000 to get a deal and you want 10 deals, well, just spend $10,000 in marketing and you'll get your 10 deals. So that really keeps everyone accountable. It keeps your employees accountable because they're responsible. Everyone is responsible for 3 to 5 of those numbers. And then it also keeps your dollars, your investment in your business accountable as well, because then you know where to best spend your money. So that's really been kind of my big thing that I've seen. And my partner, James Walkup, always says what we focus on grows. So if you're reviewing your numbers weekly, monthly, and analyzing them quarterly, that's going to help you know where to improve. And it's been amazing that once we start tracking a new measurable, that system and process automatically improves because we're looking at it. And what gets forgotten, it doesn't improve. So that's really been the biggest thing for any business, but especially in real estate and how this industry is changing. And then when we see the numbers and you analyze them, you see it's increased or decreased, then you can bring in the people aspect and say, hey, acquisition manager or our renovation crew, what's happening? We're increasing, we're decreasing. What are we doing better, or what's been happening for this to change? And that helps you adapt before 6 months later, and your business is going underwater. You don't know why. Well, the numbers help you see that up front.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys also do, you have EOS implemented in your business. So you guys track stuff on your scorecards and all that, right?
Correct. Yeah. EOS has been life-changing. And we're not perfect at it, but man, that's probably been one of the biggest things we've done is that.
Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks. So one more question for you, and then we're going to let you go. We're going to wrap this up here. You got to leave our audience with one thing, whether it's a piece of advice, it's a quote, a thought, whatever it is, one thing that you got to leave our audience with. What would that be?
I would say always be networking with other people, and you need to network with 3 different types of people. You need to network with someone who you want to be, who's at the next level of what you want to be at. You need to be networking with someone who's at the similar level of you, so another turnkey provider. And then also you need to be networking with people below you that want to get where you are. You need to give back. So doing all three of those will help you. It'll help you stay excited. It'll help you stay in the know of what the industry is doing. And then it'll also help you feel amazing by helping other people. So that really has brought me a lot of balance, and I love doing all three. So yeah, it's great. That's my favorite part, and helps you really still stay excited in what you're doing and really start creating those new ideas, and then also just feeling great seeing other people start where they're, at the bottom.
Absolutely. Awesome stuff. So Sean, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, please do not give your cell phone number. I've had people give their cell phone numbers on the air here. What would be the best way to do that? Maybe an email, website? Where can somebody find out more about you and Memphis Investment Properties?
What's wrong with giving your cell phone number?
I mean, you can do it.
I'll give my cell phone number.
Well,
put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I'm always
742-7957.
He said it.
Text me whenever you want.
Man, that just happened. Sean, how can somebody get a hold of you then?
Two areas, of course. Our website, thinkmemphisrealestate.com, has all of our turnkey properties. And then, if you want to reach out to me, you can call me or text me on my cell, 901-500-7517. I'm willing to help out.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you.
I got one more question. So this is something that we've been doing. So for good success, for us, the meaning of good success is to have the right kind of success. It's not necessarily like you did all these numbers, you did all these awesome, wonderful things. Those are great. And I think we ought to always, subscribe to those. We ought to always have these big goals and try to keep getting better and doing all of those are awesome. But to me, those are the tangibles in life. I always like to hear from you about like the intangible, hear from you for like, what is a good success story or something that has happened for you, or something that you guys always do that you just think is the right kind of success. Do you have a good example for that? For what do you think is good success?
Man, so I mean, our overall goal, our good success is that we're improving the communities in Memphis, right? Without investors during the crash or anything, there would still be despair. There would be bad neighborhoods. There's no homeowners are out there who can make $20,000 in renovations on their property. So we're helping people, facing foreclosure. We're helping them at least walk away with something and helping their credit score, and then also improving that neighborhood. So I think that's probably the main thing we're doing here in Memphis and all the other investors is helping people through tough situations and creating a win-win. So that's what I think. By the way, Tom, I read your book, Active Turnkey, and I did not know the meaning of good success. And in your book, you described it, and I like that a lot. I really, really like the name on that. And there's your motive behind what you're doing is the key to everything. And so there's success, worldly for pride or whatever. And then there's good success, which is, out of just wanting to help others and have actually that good for your family or whatever it is. What's your why? So I really appreciat that.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
That's been one of the best ones that we've had so far.
That has been very solid. Thank you for sharing that.
So did we get their website?
Yeah. So it is, Sean, it's memphisinvestmentproperties.net or the one that you said.
Yeah. Think Memphis Real Estate just brings them straight to our properties. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So you guys heard it there. It's going to be linked below. So you guys can check that out. And then also we're going to have any of their social profiles that are out there on there as well. So Sean, we appreciate you being on. Appreciate you taking time to let us interview you and pick your brain. I think we got a lot of really good information, tangible information here. So thank you for sharing all that. We look forward to having you back soon and seeing you if you go to Think Realty in Atlanta. I think that's the next one.
Possibly. Right? Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, we'll see you soon. That's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. If you have not subscribed to our podcast, make sure you do. We got tons of other awesome interviews like the one that we just had with Sean here. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, so make sure you go there. Just go to the search bar, search for Good Success, and you will find us there. Subscribe. And then we also go Facebook Live every single Friday at 12 noon Central Standard Time like we are today. And if you guys are joining us live, thank you so much for joining us live. Make sure you give this a big thumbs up, leave comments below, and then share it around. Make sure you tag your friends as well. Check out all the links. We got goodsuccess.com/mastermind if you guys are interested in checking out our mastermind. The next one is November 8, 9, and 10, and that is happening in Miami, Florida. So you guys go check it out there, fill out the application, and we will be in contact with you. And then we have a pre-sale going on for our Community Go-Giver event because we just had our Community Go-Giver event for this summer about 3-4 weeks ago now. but we have pre-sale tickets going on. So communitygogiver.com. You can find out more about that there. And we do have a wrap-up video and all kinds of stuff that is out there. And we do have the videos available from this past event as well. So you guys can go and watch all the videos that happened at the event. So all the presentations and see all the PDFs of the actual slides and that kind of thing for a nominal fee. So it'll be linked below as well.
I think, Sean, do you guys have any events coming up or any tours or anything?
Yes, we do. Twice a year, we meet up here in Memphis and tour some properties and talk real estate investing. Our next one is October. So the first Friday and Saturday in October, October 5th and 6th. You know, anyone's invited if they want to check out the Memphis market, here, visit our company, check out our property management company, visit everyone, and also see some turnkey properties. And the best part is you get some nice world famous Memphis barbecue.
Nice.
So, you know, win-win.
They don't mess around.
That's a win-win right there.
How could somebody sign up for that or find out more information about it?
It's on our website, thinkmemphisrealestate.com, and you'll see, just kind of scroll through the website and you'll see a link to the event in October.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Sounds good. We appreciate that. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, whether you're looking to survive, thrive, or matter, our goal is to provide the tools to reach your vision. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.